Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, part number 6. Time to jump on the code. So in the last episode we were able to add the icon and stuff like that. That was good, that was a pretty simple one. Now we're gonna add other stuff before we get to the audio part. So right now we are able to search, click on an episode, and here we get the podcast detail page, but we don't fetch the episode from the RSS feed from those podcast finally. And right now all that it's static data. So the plan of today is transforming that to this, and this is real data. So here we have the real last episode, and here it's really the episode with the time and stuff like that. So what we're gonna learn today, it's gonna be about building getting the data, having this list. Plus, we're gonna do some TDD, so test driving development, where we're gonna want to create the function who return the date. And we're gonna also have a function here, we're gonna return the hour and the time, because you're gonna see from the API, we receive the duration in other format. So time to jump on the code. It's gonna be pretty simple. The first thing you need to do first is to create the query, okay? I'm gonna close everything here. And we're gonna go to src, GraphQL query here. I'm gonna create a new query called feed query.ts. This feed query, the way that's gonna work, it's gonna be called feed query like that. And here you need an argument called feed URL. It's gonna be a type of string, and this is required. Because this way we can call feed, who here receive feed URL. And feed URL. Remember this GraphQL API endpoint, it's all the code is in the description. Sorry about that. So now here we can ask for the data. So this is, I need almost everything here. I need the image, link URL, pub date, I need the text, and I need a title. Okay. Now after that, I'm gonna do yarn run codegen or npm run codegen, whatever. But for me with WebStorm, I can just click play here. And remember, the query is just this thing right there. If you go here, it's just the feed URL I've shown you in the past, where you can get all the lists. So now we have that working. We can jump back to the podcast detail screen. First thing here, I'm gonna just rename data to be podcast data, because by default in GraphQL, we're gonna use data, and I don't want to have 2 times the same variable name. After that here, I can use the data, and I can use also the loading, and that's gonna be the use query from Apollo React Cook. This thing's gonna be, so the generic is gonna be a feed query variable. So here we pass feed query. And for the option, we can pass already the variable, because we're gonna have access already to the feed URL from podcast.feed URL. That's it. Now if I save, nothing has changed. So we need to put the data there. So the way that works, it's you're gonna scroll down until you see your flat list. And you see the data right there. So now you're gonna change the data by putting data.feed. And now you see we use the new syntax where it's finally if data is not null, we can get the feed. So you don't get like a feed is undefined feed. You cannot access feed because of an undefined object. So now if you save, you're gonna get a lot of stuff. And you're gonna get this error, because the thing is we did get the key extractor from item.item ID, and we don't have an ID. So for that, what I'm gonna use, it's link URL. So the link URL is the way to download the MP3 stuff and stuff like that, and it's supposedly to be how you say that, like unique. After that, if we want to render the item, here in the render item, you can get item, and as you can see, item is an item T. So the way that works, it's flat list, receive an item T, and they finally receive like a generic props, a generic interface right there, and they can use it now. After that, when you do the render item, they're gonna let you finally having already the type. So finally, because finally they get the type you pass here, and now that transform your flat list props to a read-only feed query feed. So now your item have the autocomplete. So what I mean by that, it's if I get there, I do item that title, you see, we get the autocomplete. Now you see that override the stuff, and now we have the real data. This thing is working. After that, here we want to replace this bunch of stuff here to be item that description. So now we get the real description. Perfect. Now here, this is where we're gonna do some test driving development, okay? So before that, I'm gonna just do the one here at the top. For the one here at the top, we need to replace, so here the last episode right there, we're gonna replace that by data, that feed, square 0, title. Just by doing this, we are good. The thing is, if we have a really big title, that's gonna go further because we didn't put the flex one here. So now if you go here and you jump on this one, you see, you get all the stuff. And now here, boom. Now you can add the loading spinner as you want. So the way you can add the loading spinner, I feel, in this case, I will put something like right there, where I'm gonna say, if loading, so if it's loading, I'm gonna have here a box. We're gonna put some kind of height, I don't know, like 200, and we're gonna say center, and we're gonna put inside that our activity indicator, size large, and color equal to our theme, that color, that blue light. And now what it means is when I'm gonna fetch another one, you see, you get a little loading spinner. Okay, so now time to jump on the TDD. So this is something I really love. This is something like I'm doing a lot now with all my backend stuff and things like that. And this is finally you create your test before you finally create your code. So you just create the minimum amount of code you need to make your test pass, and after that you can refactor and stuff like that. So what do we want? It's to get the date here. I'm gonna just jump back to Joe Rogan because the other one I've marked down, so we're gonna fix that. So you see right now, the issue we got, it's Friday. If I want to get the date, I'm gonna get the date like that. And I don't like it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new folder in src called lib. And I'm gonna create a new file here called date time helper.ts. After that, I'm gonna create a new file called date time helper.test.ts. I'm gonna start with the test. We're gonna start with a describe. We're gonna call date time helper. So I always have my first describe to be the name of the file. And after that, here I'm gonna describe the function I want to get. So the first function we want to create is get the weekday. And the way I see it's a function, it's I put like the pound symbol and the parentheses, so I know it's a function. So the first test we want to run is get the weekday. So we're gonna here say how we want to work with that. So I'm giving a certain date. I want to receive the friendly human weekday. So what I mean by that is we want to receive Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever. So we're gonna create a date. So const date equal new date. And the way I like to create my date here, because you don't want the date to be new date, because if you do this, that's gonna break up your code, because the date's gonna always increase in the future. So I like to pass a real date, finally, like the date of I have right now. So I'm gonna type node in my terminal, and I'm gonna just say date equal new date, and I'm gonna just print the date. So I'm gonna take this date right there inside a string. So now I know this date never gonna change. After that, my goal here is to expect get weekday, don't worry, it don't exist yet. If I pass date and I want to get back, so today it's Saturday, Sunday, sorry. So we expect to receive Sunday. So now I'm gonna run my, sorry, I'm gonna say, should return the human readable date. So we're gonna create a it's gonna be simpler like that. And now if I run my code, my test, weekday is not defined. Makes sense, we didn't create this function. So we're gonna jump back to datetime helper. We're gonna export const get week day. It's a function, we return nothing. After that, I'm gonna rerun my test. Get weekday is not defined. Makes sense, we did forget to import this one. So I'm gonna import, I'm gonna run my code. And now we expect to receive Sunday, we receive undefined. Makes sense. So here, this is where we need to do the logic. So we know here we're gonna receive a date, okay? And what we want to return is a weekday. We want to return like a string or something like that. And the way I think it's gonna be easier for our case is to create an enum. So we're gonna create an enum called weekday enum. And here what we want to do is pass all the day of the week. So I'm gonna say Monday, Tuesday. You can like hard code those values just because finally you know that never ever gonna change. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And after that, you see by default TypeScript gonna put your enum with a number. So, and this is not what we want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all those things right there. I'm gonna copy those. I'm gonna do equal, and I'm gonna put those in parentheses, and not parentheses quote. So now we can get Monday is equal to Monday, Tuesday to Tuesday, stuff like that. After that, yeah, I want to make sure that that's gonna return a weekday enum, so I know that never gonna go further. So now here, this is where we need to create the logic. So first thing is we want to get a library, not a library, but yeah, a library who's gonna help us to get the date, or you can do this yourself. So I know for sure we're gonna need to install the library. I mean, yes or not, but what I say is you can install like a library like Wonmin or datefns, or you can do this yourself. So what I mean by that is if we create the date, so today it's that. So if we do date that get day, we get 0. So example, if we do a new date, so if I do a new date, and I'm gonna just copy that, you're gonna see what I mean in a moment. So if I copy this date right there, really? Okay, looks like it don't work. Okay, like that. So we know tomorrow is gonna be 22. So if I do new date and I do get day, now we get 1. So just by looking at that, we can see what is going on. So get date today it's 0. So 0 equals Sunday, 1 is equal Monday, etc. So we can start with that. 1 sec. Sorry about that. So now, finally, the way we can make it work, it's first we can try to get the date of the day. So you can say date to get day. And finally, here you can say, you can try to like say, you can go like if, so you can go with a switch day, and here you say case 0, here you return example weekday Sunday. Case it's so we're gonna do for today is gonna be 6, so return weekday Saturday. So now if I run my test, he passed. That's perfect. The thing is, I quite not like this one, just because the thing is, now I need to do all the case. You can do this like that. Or what you can do also, it's finally like a kind of, I think you call that like a lookup table. So what I mean by that, it's you can create here an object. So I'm gonna call that lookups, where here you pass all those days. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna again just take those days, because here what I want to do, it's paste those. Getting there, don't worry, you're gonna understand what I want to do. I just want to win you some time, like that. And now I can here create my lookup table like that, because you know, when you create an object, you can have a dynamic variable name like that. And now you just pass the date. So Sunday is gonna be 0. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Now the only thing you need to do is loop over those. So what you can do, it's loop over this by doing like a in a loop. So you do const key in lookups, and now each key is gonna be the element you have right there. But the thing is, TypeScript don't like enum, wow, or not a number. So you need here to always kind of alias this. So here what I mean by that, it's if lookups square bracket key equal day, I want to return the key. This is my goal. The thing is, you see lookups here don't like, because you think here the key it's a string, but lookups here receive an enum. So here that's why you need to as key of type of lookups, and you need to say the same here, because you want to return this with the type of lookups like that. That's it. But now you still don't like it, because he like an ending return statement, because here, what happened is you have nothing. So that's why here we're gonna fix that by returning an error where we're gonna say invalid date. That's it. So I'm gonna rerun my test. If everything is working, it should be perfect. But now, how can we test that? Because right now, if I want to test this, I'm gonna need to create a date for each and create like a test for each of the stuff and stuff like that, and it can become messy. So I create an article, a blog post, like 8 months ago, where I talk about table-driven tests. So I was doing this in Golang, and I find that in Jest you can do this, and it make your life so much simple. So you see, like here you have a describe with 2 tests. You can replace that just by creating 1 test and having like kind of like an array of tests. So the way that works, it's pretty simple. What we're gonna do, we're gonna create that right there. We're gonna say test that each. Okay, each here take backtips. You can, after that, create multiple line. Here you give it the name of the variable you want. So we want date and we want expected. After that, here you need to put the 2 variables you want. So for the first date, we know this one is gonna be Sunday. So we can say weekday, Sunday. After that, I'm gonna do this 6 other times. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now here we're gonna say we want to get Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. What we miss? We miss Wednesday, sorry. Wednesday, like that. And now here we just need to increment the date by 1. So 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. After that, here what you need, it's a function where you say should return, and now here you can use your variable. So expected, so the name you put here, should return expected for the giving date. And now here you put another parenthesis. Here you have a callback, And inside this callback, it's a function where here you can destruct your argument. So you can have your date and you expected right there. And now here, you can just create this expected. You do get expected date to expect expected, like that. And now you can remove this one. And what that means now, it's if I run this code, you're gonna see if our code work, everything is working. And now if I open my weekday, you see, should return Sunday, should return Monday, should return etc. for the date. So you see, so this is the way you can work and stuff like that and make sure that your test is working. So now you see we didn't need to install a library and stuff like that because this thing is pretty simple. So now we can just change our code in the real mobile app where we can say get weekday and you pass item pop date, but item pop date is a string. So you need to transform that to a date. So you say you pass that in the new date constructor. So now if I say we get Friday, Thursday, Tuesday, that's perfect. The only thing is we want to get an uppercase version of that. Perfect. That's good. So we did one of the steps we need to do in the TDD stuff. So you see, our code is pretty simple, but also we have the test and we know that if we want to refactor here, we have the test to back ourselves. Perfect. So now we want to do the same kind of test with this duration because right now, look at this duration, okay? If I put the duration, look what we got. We get this number right there. So 033241. So time to write another test. So inside my datetime helper, I'm gonna create another describe after the describe here. And I'm gonna say human duration, like that. This one gonna have one hit and gonna should return the duration human readable. Okay, and now here I'm gonna create an expect. I want to have a function called human duration where I'm gonna pass it sometime. So I'm gonna say example 031300, and I want my result to be 3 hour. So you just look here. So 3 hour dot 13 minute. This is what I want to receive. So now I'm gonna run my test. My test is gonna fail because the function don't exist. That's perfect. So we're gonna export const human duration. I'm gonna rerun my test. My test is failing because we didn't import this one. I'm gonna import. After that, I'm gonna say expect 3 hour 13 minutes, but we get undefined. So now we here gonna receive a duration, and here we want to return the thing we want. So the duration we know is gonna be a type of string, and we want to return a string. I really like to do this when I do TDD to always do my return with what I want to receive, just because this way I know then I'm gonna need to fill everything everything to make it work, to make the TypeScript happy. So now here, how can we get the time? So we know we receive this kind of duration like that, okay? How can we receive here the hour, the minute, and the second? The way you can do this, it's by using a split. So you do duration that split, and you say, hey, split that when you have this column. So we're gonna have 03, 13, and 01. And because you can destruct an array also, you can say H for hour, M for minute, and S for second. So H is gonna be the first part, M gonna be the second part, and second after that. And now here you can just return H, hours, and M, minute, like that. So now if I rerun my test, we are really close. We get 3 hour, 03 hour, 13 minutes. But the thing is, we get 03 because it's a string. So we get 03 But we don't want that in an hour. In the minute, we don't care. We want to receive 0.4 and stuff like that, but not in the hour. So what we can do is we can just wrap our hour in a number. So they're gonna transform 0.3 to 3. And now everything is working. And we're never gonna ever use the second, so you can just remove it. And now you can still use this table, or you can just create some other inspect. So example, 11 hour, 54 minute. I should receive 11:54. And now here maybe something like 10 hour, 0.1 minute. And here we should receive 10:01. So now if I run on my test, everything is working perfect, and now we know then this thing gonna work here. So human duration, we pass the duration, and now if we save, you see 3:32, 3:18, and now you have all the real time you need. And now you can look at some 4:04, and it looks pretty nice. Now the only thing, it's maybe like you don't want to show as with hour and stuff like that, but for our case we don't really care. So I think that's it for this video. In the next one, this is where we're gonna start to have some fun, where what we want to do, it's playing those podcasts. So yeah, so you learn a bit. So yes, TD is really nice. You cannot do TDD that much with kind of React and stuff like that. Like UI testing is really hard, but when I have those kind of function where this is for transforming some data and stuff like that, this is something I always do. As you can see, this one I think is really clean. You know what that's gonna do. This thing, you can do this also here. Finally, if I have more than 3 in spec, I'm gonna surely write this kind of table. And I think this one makes really sense because it's in a week. You want to make sure that you get all the days. So I hope you enjoy. Again, the code's going to be in the description. Remember, this part was part 6. So look at the branch part 6 if you want to just look at the code we did today. So I hope you have a good day, and bye everyone.